So welcome back to the Lip Out podcast. And today I'm joined by Mr. Peter Finch.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me, Peter.
Thank you for having me, although I couldn't escape because we're in the same house.
Yeah. Are you well slept, recovered after running you hard for 5 days straight?
I fell into a pretty deep coma last night. I dreamt some very, very deep dreams and woke up refreshed, a new man, some would say, in fact.
Whoa.
Though I did have a massively long wee in the middle of the night, which was quite entertaining as well.
I think you opened your door and I just immediately gave you a caramel macchiato double shot.
Well, it's not true because I had to come downstairs for it.
Okay, when you came downstairs, I then had it waiting.
I just expect a certain level of service now, and that wasn't it. So
when you get to your level in the game, there are certain requirements now. You've reached that peak where you're hand-delivered coffee when you wake up.
I would love. I don't think we've ever been asked for a rider yet. I think that's the point. That's the point where we stop.
Ask for a what?
A rider.
Rider?
Yeah, like if you're a band and you go into a gig and they say, "Oh, yeah, what do you require?" And you put on your rider like a bottle of vodka and Skittles.
Is that sort of me on these trips?
Is
to a certain
it?
extent?
I don't know. Golf race guys, is that 40? Does he demand certain things?
No. I'm saying I'm your rider.
Oh, no. You're my ride or die.
Okay, fine. So I'll take that.
I don't know what that phrase actually means, by the way.
Yeah. I was going to start this pod and like intro. We did a pod before and I went really extravagant on the intro and then Pete just sort of ripped me for the next 5 minutes about how that went. So I thought a different way to intro it is actually I was in a Starbucks this morning coming up with how we want to do this and I went on ChatGPT.
Oh, good.
So I'm going to. Have you checked this before of what it says about you? Like if you type in like who is Peter Finch?
No, but I imagine the actor comes up.
Yes.
Yeah.
But actually, on this occasion, it didn't.
Oh.
Straight into the golfer Peter Finch.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, just for the viewers out there, so who's Peter Finch? And correct ChatGPT if it's wrong.
Okay.
So Peter Finch is a British PGA professional golfer, coach and YouTube creator, best known for his golf instruction and entertainment content. Pretty accurate?
Last point debatable.
Okay. Full name, Peter Finch, pretty obvious. Born August 14th, 1986 in England, age 39 as of now, 2026. From Preston, Lancashire, UK. Profession, PGA teaching professional and content creator. He's originally worked as a golf coach, driving range instructor before building a large audience online.
Wow, yeah, it's
pretty accurate so far.
That's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Got a few stats here as well.
Oh God, okay.
Key stats and online presence. YouTube channel, Peter Finch Golf. Subscribers, you're now on 850, am I right in saying? This says between 750 and 1 million, but I know you're on...
It's a little bit tricky, like with everything... Because we've got different YouTube channels, like we're way over, we're up to like 1 million, I think, pretty much.
Yeah, I think it's just over 1 million with everything.
Yeah.
Total videos, this says 1,700 plus uploads.
Probably.
I tried to look into it this morning, but...
I've got quite the back catalogue.
Very good.
Yeah.
12 years, I believe, because I watched your first ever... I went on your first ever YouTube video in Starbucks this morning to see it, and it said 12 years ago.
I thought it was longer. I must admit, I thought it was longer, but yeah. I mean, it only ticks over to 13 years after it's got to 13 years.
Oh, right.
So I think it's probably 13.
Okay.
But that's still a long time.
And it just says here to finish this off, it says content types, instruction videos, course vlogs, match play versus other content creator and pros, equipment reviews, and finally it says he's considered one of the most influential golf YouTubers and go-to golf coaches for amateur golfers in the world.
Wow.
I think that's pretty accurate.
I mean, yeah, that sounds great.
Would you dispute any of that, or
go-to in the world strong? But you know what? If that's what chat says, then that's what I'll take.
Must be true.
I'll put it on a business card.
So yeah, I think that's just sort of a brief overview. But I think today I'd love to go through. There's a lot of podcasts online. You've obviously got the Rough Cut podcast, and it's all very much current. What's going on in the world, which is brilliant. It's really good to listen to. Big fan of that show. But I want to kind of take a bit of a history lesson into you, who you are, how you got to this position. So, and I guess firstly as well, just to intro, we're on this really cool road trip from Orlando up to sort of Kiowa, Myrtle Beach. We're currently in Hilton Head, really beautiful Palmetto Dunes resort. Shout out them. This has been incredible, our time here in this lovely big house where we're filming this. So I guess the first question I had is how did you first get into golf? Talk to me about, how did you get from picking up the game to turning into PGA professional Peter Finch?
I'm not going to say by accident, but I was always way more interested in football. Used to love playing football, was okay at it. Like hindsight looking back now, I was never going to be good enough to like play professionally, maybe semi-professionally if I managed to trick a team into having me. But it was always my first love. And then my dad introduced me to golf early-ish, but I didn't really start playing properly until I was like 13, 14 maybe. And then when I was 16, I want to say I got injured playing football, did my back in, and I actually missed playing golf more than I missed playing football. So I was like, well, that's probably a sign that I should keep on playing golf. And then, got up to down to a 3 handicap, I think, and turned pro pretty much straight after. I knew from that point on that I wanted to do my PGA. I wanted to be involved in pro golf. That was the only thing that really appealed to me. There was that and a few other things that I thought of, but yeah, the professional golf route was the only thing that really interested me. Just actually being outside and playing golf sounded like a great plan. And if not, then being able to be involved within the game in some capacity, whether that's coaching or not so much in the shop, but just involved within professional golf. It seemed like an option that wasn't really afforded to many people in Preston. So I was like, okay, let's do that.
So was that the first love? You wanted to be a professional footballer? That was like, come up through the ranks and...
No, definitely. It was just, I still love football now. It's still, it's still the thing that sports-wise that I love to watch as well. So, that was always a drive, but yeah, it wasn't to be.
Did you, in that era, were you watching more football than you were watching golf? Like, were you as obsessed with both sports, or was it, once you sort of thought, actually, I'm going to get more into the golf side of it?
Once I started playing golf a lot more, like certainly during the summer, I just used to love like turning on European Tour, watching that, going up to the club and playing. The summers where I could just be at the golf club like all the time. They were great. They were probably like, some of my kind of happiest times when I was a kid.
Did you enjoy the competition side of it? Like, were you big, like sort of your junior career, were you did the competitive side of it really drive you? Was it more just the fun side of it?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I like wanted to play golf or I wanted to play football, I wanted to be as good as I could be. And that involves playing in competitions. I wasn't really particularly that good, really. I had some good scores, but I know now looking back that, and it's one of the reasons why I still like to do coaching videos, and I still like the idea of going back to coaching, is the level of coaching that I had when I look back on it was really like poor. Like I could have been a much better player, and I've still got bad habits that I developed then that's still within my game. So it's like, if I'd have had a bit of better access to knowledge at that point, I think I could have been a much better player now. But yeah, it was as soon as I knew that I was going to want to play golf more, then I went full on into it.
And then we'll come onto the content side of it in a bit and all that. But then you got your PGA. What golf club was that at?
It was down at the Shropshire. So when I was 17, my girlfriend at the time was moving down to Shropshire, and I was like, well, I fancy getting out of Preston. Didn't really enjoy it there, so I was like, okay, well, I'll move in with her wherever she moves to, and then try and get an assistant's role down in Shropshire. That didn't work out, but I managed to get down to Shropshire, start at the Shropshire, which is like a 27-hole golf club down there. Did my PGA down there, and then like the last year, pretty much I went to Lilleshall Golf Club, which is just down the road, which is a lovely little spot.
Did you enjoy those times, like taking the exact, like that period of all the exams and everything that went along with it, and the coaching? And...
Working at a golf club at that age, I was really lucky at the Shropshire actually, because it's a really busy place, and there was a group of probably about 15 of us, all about the same age, like working in the kitchen, behind the bar, in the shop. It was just a great atmosphere. Like, it was one of those things where I was working in the shop. Like, I always used to do the early shift in the shop, used to do that. Then in the afternoon, I could play a bit of golf. And then for extra cash, I'd kind of work behind the bar in the evening. So I was just up there all the time. But it was great. Just loved it. Absolutely loved it.
It's quite cool because we were at Lake Nona 3 days ago, so and you filmed that video with Ian Poulter, and even someone of his level where he's got to, he still looks back on those times of his, he showed you his PGA card and was reminiscing about how much he enjoyed those times, and it was almost like a bond. Like he was saying, he sort of said he loves fellow PGA professionals.
Hey, listen, once you're in a cult, like you can recognize other cult members from a mile away.
There you go.
That's where we were.
If we move on to the content side of things, can you remember your first time watching YouTube or someone saying to you, like, have you watched a YouTube video?
I know for sure that I uploaded my first YouTube video before I watched one.
How did that come about? Did someone say to you, like, how did you find out about it?
So I'd been PGA Pro down in Shropshire, like did a couple of years of being a journalist down there as well, just for trying to change the scene, see if there's anything different out there. There isn't. And came back to being a pro at a driving range down in Staffordshire. And then a job opening came up in Manchester. And at that range was Rick Shields, Andy Carter, and a few other guys who I'd gone to college with. And they said, effectively, if you apply for the job, we'll kind of make sure you get it. Nothing like a bit of nepotism. And when I was there, I wouldn't say I'm a very shy person, but I don't like going up to people and starting conversations. It's just, I'm not very skilled in that way. And to get lessons and to drum up business, you've got to go out and talk to people. You've got to like put yourself out there. And Rick was by far the busiest coach. He'd been there a few years, but the only thing he was really doing differently was uploading YouTube videos. Still didn't know really what that meant, but I was like, well, it's a good way to actually show what you're doing coaching-wise to a large number of people. In my head, what it would be is if I uploaded a YouTube video in Manchester, for example, that YouTube video would be shown to people in Manchester. That's what I kind of thought it was. So I filmed the video on my iPad, edited it on my iPad, uploaded it to YouTube with a title, and just let it go. And that was kind of it. You know what? I don't know the exacts, but I reckon I probably didn't actually watch a YouTube video for a few months.
Really?
Yeah, and I probably uploaded, 5 or 6 videos within that time frame.
So that one that we were talking about earlier, the pitching one, which I saw was the first one, you did that all on your iPad.
Yeah.
And then you uploaded sort of 4 or 5 and just, you weren't watching YouTube at this stage. You were just uploading videos. Did you get inquiries from the back of it? Like any lessons or some people had said, like, I've seen you're also doing videos now along with Rick.
It was actually pretty quick. It was actually quite quick. Like after maybe 2-3 videos, I think I had my first lesson come in. And it was big really in my mind. I was like, wow, that worked. And for the amount of time that I put into video, because obviously I didn't know what I was doing. It took hours to make a video. One lesson's probably not, it doesn't make sense as far as like the time invested into like getting only one lesson in. But in my head, I'm like, oh, this is great. This means I don't have to go onto the range. It means I don't have to talk to people. It means I don't have to like sidle up behind someone's bay and be like, oh, Jeff, I see you hit a slice there. Here's what can fix it. Come in and get a lesson. Fuck off. I hate the idea of it. But I thought, well, if I keep doing this, that will mean I don't have to do that. So I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And yeah, eventually just the amount of lessons that were coming in from YouTube videos compared to people just wandering in on the range was way, way eclipsed. So I was like, okay, this is something. I've got something here.
But I suppose you're playing into your skill set because your skill set is coaching people and your skill set is golf. So you're saying about, not wanting to do I suppose like the small chat of drumming it up, whereas like the actual showing your skill set on the videos, if someone's watching and going, okay, let's ignore the chat, but actually the coaching element is what I'm interested in here.
Well, the early there was a lot of hostility early on from like other PJ pros and from people within the industry, because information at that time, certainly golf coaching, was seen as something to be guarded, something which you had to pay to get access to. You know, if you paid for a PJ Pro's lesson, you were seen to be going to an expert. And if that expert gave that information away for free, what was the incentive of going to see that pro? And it certainly played on my mind. I was like, well, if I do a video on fixing a slice, why would someone then come in for a lesson to fix that slice? Like, I've just given them the key that they need to fix that. But it just doesn't work like that. You put the information out there, but more than that, you put yourself out there as a person that people can approach. And it took me a while to figure it out, but if you think about going for a golf lesson, if you think about going for any kind of lesson or coaching in whatever you do, you're searching around for somebody, you're booking that lesson, you're going into a new environment where you don't know that person, you don't know what they're going to be like, you're obviously spending money with them, and it makes it a lot easier to do. If you've seen them beforehand, you feel like you've built even a pseudo relationship online, you can go into that lesson already kind of know who they are. And that was the biggest factor, and still is the biggest factor in like coaching with people who do YouTube videos. It's the fact that people can feel they trust and know that person before they even go in for a lesson. So that was the biggest thing that worked, although I didn't really realize any of this till quite a while afterwards.
Sure. Must be quite cool though, getting that first phone call saying, I've seen you on YouTube, I want to book a lesson, and your sort of light bulb switch goes, oh, all right, this is real. This people will pay me money, and they've just watched a video of me.
Yeah, it was strange. Like, I mean, I can still understand on the face of it why it would be considered weird, as far as like from a professional coach's standpoint. But yeah, it's the only true way now to get yourself out there and to get interest drummed up in lessons. You know, the days of sticking up leaflets in the toilet.
I remember it. Well, I think back then as well, we're not too dissimilar in age, was you would have advice from magazines. Mm-hmm. YouTube wasn't a thing. Social media wasn't a thing. Yep. Then you'd have your local golf club with your pro or assistant pro, and even TV. You know, when you saw Sky Sports or BBC coverage, there wasn't much coaching on the coverage. It wasn't a Sky studio. It was just they would slow down some pro swings and talk about it briefly. But like you said, you had to pay the pro who you'd never met to access that information. So it opened up a completely new way of gathering information really quickly.
Yeah, but we are living through, I suppose we're almost like not coming out the other side of it, but it's an accepted fact of life now that as the internet has gotten bigger and as the amount of information being put online grows, actually information itself has lost a lot of its value because you can get it from wherever. And like ChatGPT yeah. and kind of the AI kind of software now that's coming through, you know, you can become an expert in a subject, not easily, but you've got all the tools at your disposal to be able to do that. There's only really a few industries like doctors, like architects, stuff like that, that actually involve risks to human life, where you still have to go through, get a qualification, you know, and understand the depth of knowledge that is required. A lot of other stuff you can just go out and watch videos, gather information, do it yourself. And it's one of the best thing about the internet. Like, it's there if you want it.
It's crazy times, scary,
great times
with AI,
times.
But it's
best times ever.
Yeah, but it's, you know, it's like you said, it's completely opened up a new way of instant information. Yeah, and also, I've always thought as well that it's opened up the opportunity for people who have, you know, personalities like you, have that skill set. Whereas if social media never existed, then the audience you've obtained over time would never have known about you. So there's a lot of people who have been, you know, rightfully discovered through the access to audience instantly. Yeah,
I mean, timing and luck is certainly a key part of that. Like, I'm not, best way to describe it, I'm not blind to the fact that when I started making videos, you know, you had Rick, you had Me and My Golf, you had Mark Crossfield, and you had a few others who were making content online, but that was it. Like, yeah. It was really, really small as far as like the amount of people who were making videos, and we just managed to get on that wave really early. And we used to kind of like collab with each other a lot early on, which again, I probably didn't understand the power of until much, much later. But we were lucky. We worked hard. It was hard, but I knew that it was working, so that gave me the incentive. Like if I'd have uploaded 20 videos and no one came in for a lesson, I probably wouldn't have carried on. So it was luck, a lot of luck.
It's funny back then when, in America now, that it was, like you said, 6 or so Englishmen that drove that golf content space forward. And the Americans hadn't, I can't remember back then really seeing anyone off the top of my head.
There was, you can kind of break YouTube down into like 2 very distinct phases, really. So when we started, it was primarily used as an information base. So we were PJ pros, and in the UK especially, it was PJ pros making videos to try and drum up lessons. Then we started to kind of like make a few course vlogs and stuff like that, which would be considered entertainment, but we probably didn't see it quite like that at the time. But everyone else in the States, there were some people making videos, but it was very salesy. It was super salesy. So we were making videos. Here's how you fix your slice. Go away and work on it. Let us know what you think. There was never, I don't think I ever in a single video of mine said, I am at Trafford Golf Centre, you can come book a lesson with me. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I never ever said any of that. Whereas the coaches in the States were making a video and it was almost like giving you the first half of how to fix a slice. And then in the second half saying, and if you want the rest, you can come book a lesson with me at, Palmetto Dunes or whatever. And they didn't grasp what YouTube was. They didn't grasp what the internet was. As far as like you go somewhere and you want the information there. You don't want to have to mess around. You don't have to go to different websites. You don't have to do all these things. So again, I had no idea about this. Again, it's just luck. I just happened to stumble on a formula that worked. But then at some point, it became apparent that people might not actually want to watch coaching videos. They might actually just want to watch stuff to watch it, to be entertained. And we started making more of those videos, but at that point, that's where you had like the guys from Good like started making videos, and you had these American creators who weren't bothered about coaching. They were just bothered about making videos that people wanted to watch. And that's this phase that we're in now, where it's, the information and coaching is still a commodity on YouTube, but it's more about people going on there, watching the videos to be entertained. And that's why that space is now taken over as far as views and numbers from like your mainstream medias of your TV and magazines and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. When did you decide from that period, still coaching, when did you think, at what stage, how many years later, I'm going to do this full time? I'm all in.
There was I can't remember exactly when it was, but there was a point where certainly when I was at Trafford, I was 40, 50 hours a week coaching, and then we were doing 2-3 videos a week probably. So that was like probably another 20 hours, say, and with the editing, it was literally full time. I was working non-stop.
Were you doing all the editing at this stage?
Yeah, I was doing everything. My brother-in-law John, he kind of helped out every now and again. He was a videographer editor, but pretty much everything I was just doing myself. But I didn't need to be. This was a time when you didn't need like the heavy graphical work, or you could. It was still a bit more raw than it is now, so I was able to do it. And there just came a point where the revenue from YouTube and from internet referrals, as we called them, like lessons, was more than like just people coming into the driving range. It happened relatively quickly. It was only after a few years maybe starting YouTube, but it was at that point where I was like, well, if I drop a day of coaching and actually just commit that day to making videos, is that going to affect me as far as like a business kind of point of view? And I just dropped a day, did more videos, dropped another day, did more videos. And there was just a point where it was like, actually, the YouTube side of things now, from brand partnerships, from what you get from the lessons, is starting to outweigh what I was doing coaching-wise. And I still loved coaching, but it was the idea of, well, if you did this full time, you could have all these amazing experiences. You could make these videos. You could grow the YouTube side of things. And actually, you can just do this full time. Like, is this a full-time job? And I can't exactly remember when that was, but it was kind of coalesced with the time that me and Rick left Trafford, set up our own little Swing Quest like academy. And that was, oh God, when was that? Moved up to Lytham and then Burnley. I'm not sure. Can't even remember. I'm not quite like Poulter. I don't have all these like dates,
instant stats and data on ready to go.
I don't have the memorabilia from that time, but that was probably 7-8 years ago.
Okay,
yeah.
And then if we move on to, I suppose, more current day and content, in terms of content you've produced over the years, what are some of your favorite videos that stick out and favorite sort of experiences shooting those videos?
So, I mean, I love the travel aspect. Like the traveling that we've done over the past year has probably been a little bit too much. Certainly kind of feeling it a little bit, like just a need to be at home a touch more. But like the places that YouTube can take you and like the experiences that you can have, the places that as a golfer that I could play, which I'd never get access to. Like, we played Sawgrass, a few days ago now. Played it like 3 times in the last 6 months. And
Harbour Town links yesterday.
Harbour Town, like, these are places that, without your guys' help and without kind of YouTube and stuff, the chances are I'm never going to play these places. You see them on TV, you might watch YouTube videos on them, but without that, I'm not here effectively. So it's been a massive, massive plus. But probably the ones that stand out for me video-wise is the Quest for the Open things. Quest for the Open videos and like competition videos, because ultimately, we've got enough experience with making YouTube videos now about, even though it's still changing, it's ever changing, we kind of know what works. Like, we could make a really good video, have a really cool experience, and get a video done that has loads and loads of views. But actually, the ability to play in competitions, the ability to still work on my game as a pro golfer and to try and get better, when we do something or achieve something and win a comp or get through open qualifying, the sense of achievement on that is way more potent. We can make a great video, and you do a video on YouTube that gets 1 million views. There's a massive sense of achievement there, obviously. But to be able to do something which requires a lot more work in the background, and to actually better yourself as a golfer, and then to be able to share that with an audience that's followed you for a long period of time, that's probably the most meaningful stuff personally to me.
Comes to mind is open qualifying last year.
Yeah.
Watching that story, and from a PR perspective, that was all over the golf industry when that sort of unfolded.
Yeah, because it takes time. Like, we're living in an age where all the information is there, but also the amount of entertainment that is at your disposal, that is at your fingertips, is way more than it was. Like, you go on, say, Netflix or Prime, YouTube, whatever your favorite entertainment source is, and there's so much there. There's so much there to watch. It's really hard to pinpoint at times what you want. And it's so hard to say and commit to saying, you know what, I'm going to do something here which is going to take me years. I'm going to say what I'm going to do. It's going to take me years, with the potential that there might never be a payoff. Do you want to watch it? Or do you want to watch this, which you know is going to be great straight away? Like, it's a really hard thing to do, but when the payoff comes, and when that sense of achievement, and certainly if people have been watching and following for a long period of time, when they get the sense of that payoff and that achievement, that means way more than just like a random video that you've done, which has got 1 million views.
I think with open qualifying with you're like emotionally invested.
Yeah.
Whether you succeed or fail, even the failures, like it's almost quite emotional. Like, I think fellow golfers, you're kind of like, one hole can change everything. We all know that feeling.
Oh, I mean, the outpouring after that open qualifying video last year was huge. It was massive. It actually took me by surprise a little bit, but people just the anecdotal things like people in the comments saying that me recognizing names, like of people in the comments who were watching Quest for the Open videos like years and years and years ago, who are still watching like the series. So, you know, we know it kind of gets people invested, and it's from a YouTube standpoint, video standpoint, it's something which is a little bit different. Like there are people who do play in pro comps, but certainly the level of comps that I play in, which is like almost below mini tour effectively, there's something which is a little bit, I don't know, something a bit more raw about it, and it allows people to like just follow the progress or lack of progress a little bit more closely than otherwise.
I've always said I've had this conversation with, been lucky enough to spend time with other golf content creators, and it's putting yourself on the line. You know, for example, open qualifying, there's a lot of pros. You know, we all been in competitions, but if you have a bad day, the people around them will know about it. You go home, your family know about it, and that's it. Yeah. But you've got millions of people going through this with you. So when you tee that ball on hole one, you're conscious like, okay, this isn't just these people. This is going out to a huge audience. There's always a lot of respect. Even I watched the other day with Poulter on Nona, like my Garmin watch heartbeat was through the roof. Just watching you, and I was like, my God, I'm nervous for you. But it's that fact that actually you can't fake it. There's 3 cameras rolling, Instagram, YouTube, all this stuff. People have opinions, and you almost have to just, I guess, switch that off and just play golf.
Yeah, and because it does mean more and it does matter. Because that's the thing. Like we could do a video where we play a match against someone, a Poulter or whoever, and we come to the end of the game. Somebody wins, somebody loses. Hopefully, you've enjoyed the video watching it. Shake hands. We'll go our separate ways. Do this video again. It was great. Everyone enjoyed themselves, and it's good. And people will watch that and they'll enjoy that, and they might still think about it for a while. But when you achieve something which is external to a situation which you can artificially create, which actually involves other professionals, which involves other people with a vested interest in beating you, then that's way more rewarding for personally and for the viewer, because it's the end of a particular journey that they may have followed you on, and it's way more impactful.
Yeah. Who are some of your favorite people you've shot videos with?
Ooh.
Not to show favoritism, just you've shot with a lot of different people from a lot of different walks of life.
I mean, for me, coming from a professional golf standpoint, where once I tried to play as well as I could at golf, I wanted to be a pro, and the people I grew up kind of idolizing and watching. You had Poulter, for example. You had Westwood. People like Harrington, and we filmed with all of those guys. So being able to play and film with people who you grew up watching and who you grew up trying to emulate in some respects, that's really cool. That's one of the really cool things you can do within golf, especially is if I'm watching if I was like 20 years younger, I'm watching a YouTube video and it's someone I like to watch and they're playing Sawgrass or they're playing Hilton Head, and I'm watching it, I'm like, you know what, I want to do that. I want to play there, and then eventually being able to go play there, that would be really, really rewarding for me. And being able to like watch Poulter, for example, growing up, watch his heroics in the Ryder Cup, and then play a match against him. That's mad. That's actually mad.
Do you ever think of that when you were going around with him the other day? You would have been in your living room in the UK. No one knew who you are. Watching him on a tour event at a Ryder Cup, and you're sort of walking down the fairway at Nona, being like, "Now, I've just been in his house this morning, looking around his Ferraris, and now I'm playing golf against the guy." Full circle moment.
Oh yeah. It's wild. Like, I'm very, very good at remembering golf shots and golf courses that I've played. I'm just trying to think, like, it's a bit of a blur, really. I don't really. I'm just trying to picture some of the shots of some of the holes, and it just went by so fast. It's a very strange and unique thing to be able to do, which I think why YouTube's really popular. Like, it just allows normal people to do these things, and that's why people, I think, enjoy kind of watching.
So the tour pros particularly stick out for you? When
Yeah,
you're playing with them?
tour pros stick out for me.
Just,
yeah.
I guess, the memories, the level of play that's required, and picking their brains, and that kind of thing.
I think I'm more aware of it now, but I think certainly for a long time I actually put a lot of stock mentally in being a professional golfer. Like subconsciously, actually, it probably means more to me than I think. I love the idea of being a pro golfer. I love the idea of being seen as really good at something. So to play with people, like I said, I idolized and who I respect and who I grew up watching as a pro, it kind of means a lot. And yeah, I don't know why particularly, but yeah, certainly the pro golfers, the tour pros, they stand out.
I've spent a lot of time with you. It's, people don't see the graph that goes into the game. Like, you're always working on something, or you can clearly see it means a lot. Like you said, it means a lot to you to, yes, your profession as a content creator, YouTuber, and so on, but ultimately you're a professional golfer.
Yeah, and anything worth doing takes time, but golf is so frustrating, and it's so annoying because you can put a lot of work into it, and it doesn't mean that you're going to get better. It doesn't mean that your score's going to improve. It just takes such a long time, and it's probably why people enjoy golf so much, is that you're going to spend 99% of your time losing at golf, but it's that 1%. It's that one moment where you actually do win and you achieve something. Oh God, this is just the best thing ever.
Yeah. I think we spoke about where you've come from, and there's been a massive boom, especially COVID. COVID got a lot of new people into the game, new audiences. We've just had people like LeBron James are into golf now. That's going to open up another door. It's going to get bigger and bigger.
He's a basketball player.
He is a basketball player, very good basketball player. But I suppose in terms of the golf content space, we had the Internet Invitational that you played in last year. Mm-hmm. That's a new, again, it's new audience. It's absolutely huge. It racked up, I think, all the videos, 20 million plus views. Yeah. More so than linear TV, I guess. Yeah. Where do you think golf content is? Is it in a good spot? Is it exciting? Can you elaborate a bit on that?
I mean, ultimately, it's in an incredible spot. I'm obviously, I've got a very vested interest in YouTube and the YouTube golf space, but simply looking at the numbers of what is going on in YouTube and big events like the Internet Invitational, but then you have all the other creators making videos all the time, weekly basis. The amount of people who watch YouTube golf compared to who watch golf through your classic kind of TV medium, the numbers aren't even close now. Like YouTube golf and the amount of engagement that you have there is way, way higher than golf on TV. I think it only really switches, it only changes when the majors come around. So obviously like your Masters, your Opens, US Opens, all the rest of it, and like certain big events when big players are involved, like the Players, for example. But other than that, yeah, I mean, this is kind of, if you want to watch golf entertainment, you want information, you want to know about courses, you want to be invested and you want to learn about golf, it's kind of YouTube that you go to. Like, you don't turn on Sky to watch that now, unless it's a big event. So the whole landscape has changed. As far as where it's at, I mean, it keeps on growing. There's two ways of looking at it. Like, certainly from my side, we make videos, we try and get, I think it's about 70 to 80 videos out on the main channel, as we call it, per year. One coaching video out per week on SwingQuest, and one podcast a week. And then we've got all our social media platforms that we try and stick stuff out on as well. There's a lot of content there that we're making. And if you say there's, 30 big creators, say, I don't know how many, but they're all doing exactly the same. So it's starting to get a little bit like Netflix, where you're going to turn on YouTube, you're going to look at something to maybe watch, and you're like, wow, there's a lot of stuff here. So an argument has been made recently about it being maybe a little bit oversaturated, that there's loads of content, there's not enough time to watch this stuff. Whereas in my mind, I'm still in the mindset that the internet is a big place. Like the YouTube golf niche is big, but there's way more people that can get into golf. There's way more people who can watch golf content. And if that grows, we will grow. Everyone can grow together. So I think it's still in a really good spot.
And then in terms of YouTubers, who are some of your favorite YouTubers in terms of not only golf, but other sports, or other, it might just be entertainment people on YouTube?
Sorry.
Don't darn me. Pete.
Oh my word. Sorry.
It's emotional stuff.
Literally almost like just drowned on a little bit of phlegm in the back of my throat. Other favorite channels outside of YouTube golf. I mean, the ones I used to love, like used to absolutely adore. You had like Casey Neistat, who is still making videos to a point, but a lot less. Tom Scott was one of my favorites. Time Team have a YouTube channel now. I don't know if you knew this.
Time Team?
You don't know Time Team?
No.
You don't know Time Team?
Don't know Time Team.
Time Team was a show, I think it was Channel 4, but we're talking like 20, 30 years ago, where they go on archaeological digs. And, it's the best.
I don't think I do. It so vaguely rings a bell.
It's like, it's Tony Robinson. It's elite. But they've got a YouTube channel now.
Right.
So they do like archaeological digs. It's one of the other things that I wanted to be as a kid. I wanted to be an archaeologist as a kid.
Right.
And then one of my teachers taught me out of it, which I'll never forgive her for.
Where do you think? God, so many things to. Yeah, don't know where to go with that. Anyway, where do you think? Where do you think it's going though? What's the future? We're obviously it's got to this point now. What's the next thing? I know that's quite a hard question, open question, but what is the future of, I guess, YouTube golf content?
First of all, I think there's a difficulty in the way that we kind of approach and handle kind of what's coming down the line. So the difficulty is always trying to come up with new kind of content ideas. Like, we are lucky in golf that the places that we play are courses, and everyone's different. Even courses that are right next to each other, they have their own character, they have their own layouts. So we could just make videos going to play different courses and showing those different courses, and they would all be different. So that's a huge advantage that we have over other sports, like tennis creators, for example. You've got different types as far as like clay, grass, hard, whatever. But ultimately, it's a tennis course, the same dimensions. Like, there's only so much that you can do there without getting super creative. So golf has an advantage over pretty much any other sport in that respect. But to come up with new concepts, to come up with new ideas, to play with different people, those are the things which are difficult. And I think with the amount of creators that are making videos now, it's really hard not just to make the same things. And also, it's hard for people who are new, who are making videos for the first time, not to look at what's working for other people and just copy it and replicate it. And then all of a sudden, you've just got this huge amount of content where people are making pretty much the same videos. That becomes an issue. But there are several things which are kind of happening. So you've got the Internet Invitational, which was really new. Trying to keep that pure in a respect, like trying to keep it to creators and trying not to kind of oversaturate that with like loads of celebrities coming in. That could prove to be a bit of an issue, but I've nothing to do with the organization of that. And I've never organized something of that scale, that size. They know what they're doing, and whatever they want to do, I completely trust and understand it. There's stuff like the YouTube golf tours that are coming up, like the Your Golf Tour. Like, that could be really, really big, could be massive. And there's just so many things that you could do, and there's so many things that you could like try and adapt to. I'm always a little bit hesitant to try completely new things and to try and make new video concepts which aren't really aligned with what I personally want to do, which I think is important. Like, you can chase and you can make videos which you know in the back of your mind would probably do really well, but if they're not authentic to kind of what you want to do, like I like mentioned it before, like I'm a pro golfer. I like making things about pro golf. I like to be good at golf. I want to try and be better at golf. I want to make videos around that. If I did and hosted something like the Good Survivor series that's just come up, it just wouldn't work for me. Like, I've no interest in doing stuff like that. So trying to make videos which I'm still really passionate about and which actually mean something, that's what, you know, I'm very keen to try and do.
Keep it brand Finch.
Yeah, just authentic.
Yeah.
Just keep it authentic. Like, you see it a lot when people chase views and when they start to go down certain paths where you just know they're not bothered. They don't really care about what they're doing, and it shows. And like, people start to recognize that and switch off. You know, you got to be true. You got to be authentic to what you want to do.
Yeah. If we move on to, I suppose, tour and just, I guess, golf in general, we're both pretty. I guess you call us both golf geeks. So really interested to hear this stuff from you. Is who are some of the best tour pros you've ever seen up close? Like, you've just been jaw to the floor in terms of ball striking and just like a different level.
Rory's different. In all fairness, you have certain players. So I remember when I worked at, like, one of my first opens where I was actually doing any work was Birkdale, where Spieth won.
Is that when you hit it? Oh, we hit it on the range.
Hit it on the range, yeah. Which is wild, by the way. But I was on the range doing work, like, you know, which is about 400 yards away from that hole. It's a wild shot. And walking up and down that range, and not being, what's the word? Not being like cocky or not being like too dismissive, but you walk down the range at a pro event, especially like this is a major, and everyone hits it well. Like, there's no one who duffs it. But you're going down the range and you're like, oh, you know, he's hitting it well, but I can see that shot. You know, I can play that shot. You know, oh yeah, that's good. I can see that shot. Walk past Spieth, who won that week. You know, he's hitting these little draws. I'm like, oh yeah, I can see what he's doing. I can hit that shot. And I remember from that event getting in behind Brooks Koepka, and he was hitting these. I think he's got like a 3-iron. It's bent to a 2-iron.
It's that old Nike Vapor that's been in his bag.
The black-headed one.
Yeah.
And he was just hitting these stingers down the range. And I'm like, I can't do that. I physically can't hit that shot. I don't even know how he's doing that. So I just watched him for ages. I was like, wow, this is impressive. And then probably other ones that stand out, Bryson, not during, but just after he went through his like beefing up stage.
Yeah.
He's
like post US Open win.
Yeah. Just after that, when he was just starting to like just trim down again a little bit. Like he when he's hitting the driver, it is so impressive. Probably the two that stand out for me, Rory at the St Andrews Open where Cam Smith won, like going out in that final round. Just on the range, I was like right behind him. I was doing work for the Open, like Open TV, Sky, stuff like that. I was standing right behind him, like from me to where that suitcase is over there. And he was hitting the ball. He might have been hitting the ball then better than any human has ever hit the ball. It was, if I could have remortgaged my house and put every single penny that I had on him to win, I would have. It was, his ball flights were taking up about 2.1% of the available airspace on that range. They were just going through exactly the same spot every single time with every single club. And I was like, this is just one of the best things I've ever seen in my life.
It's different, isn't it?
Yeah. I wish he'd have left the range 10 minutes earlier and gone the putting green. That would have been nice.
That would have helped.
That would have been great that day. And then the other one was Tiger. Like Tiger at Troon. Troon, when I was still behind him? Yeah, Troon. And that was really lucky. I was stood on the range. I was just on my phone. I was stopped doing work at that point. There was just an empty spot on the range. I was just stood messing about. And then all of a sudden, like, people just start like assembling like around me. And I was like, oh, whatever. And then like Tiger again just comes and like stands right in front of me and starts hitting shots. And, you know, Tiger's always been like my golfing hero. And it was just the irons especially were so pure. They were just so consistent, and it was just really special to watch. I didn't move. I didn't move for like just half an hour just watching him hit irons. I think I desperately needed to go for a whiz as well, but I was like, I'm just not moving. Like, this is it. Like, this is the moment that I get to see him hit. Like, shots one after another. And it was amazing. It was so good.
I love it when you go on the range and you see other tour pros when they walk out of the locker and whatever, and they slow down or stop.
Yeah.
Then because I remember always thinking other players like Stenson, Garcia, it's those types of like ball strikers where they slow down a bit and they take it in, and guys like you who are even commentating, you're like, I'm going to stand here today.
Well, we'll put it this way, because you have, like I said, every single tour pro strikes the ball well. Like, they might go through phases of duffing it a bit, but like they're all elite ball strikers. Yeah. And then you've just got that slightly extra tier that even the elite ball strikers will stop and watch, and that's like, that's
just
special.
Incredible to watch.
Oh, so
if you've never been to a pro tour event, I actually always say it to people, like, obviously the golf course is great, but it's just quite cool to go on the range and just, you realise the level of ball striking some of these guys have is video game-esque.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah. It's unbelievable, yeah.
And I suppose, as ChatGPT said, you're one of the most influential people in golf. So I'd love to get your opinion on LIV. I mean, I read that LIV's been going for 5 years now. Is that right? I was trying to.
I think it's 4. Yeah, it's 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Which kind of surprised me. I still think back to when it launched at Centurion. It seems like yesterday, but it's been going for quite some time now. One of your close friends, Rick, went over to LIV to kind of do, I guess, be the poster boy for content, I guess. And I'm just really interested to get your opinion of where it is now, and your opinion of where you think it's going to go between PJ Tour, DP World, LIV. Or ideally, what you would want to happen if you were sat, in those offices and you had a say. What would you say to these people?
I mean, it's not something which has ever particularly grabbed my attention. In the 4 or 5 years that it's been going, I think I've probably not consumed more than an hour of that kind of tour within that time frame. It's obviously really new, and one thing which golf has, and obviously it takes time, but one thing that golf has, it has history, it has heritage, it has a long line of winners, for example. Like the RBC that we're just down the road from. You can look back through the history of that tournament. You can see the people that have won. You can have a look at that golf course, and you can remember certain shots, and you can remember certain holes. Now, LIV, because it's so new, it doesn't have any of that to draw upon. So the format that it had, as far as like 54 holes and the team aspect and the players, it's something new that they were trying to be exciting enough that people were drawn in, and then they could start to build a bit of history, start to build a bit of a legacy with it. I don't particularly think it's worked. I mean, they switched back to 72 holes, and it's never really put the background of, as far as like where the money has come from, for example, and all the controversy surrounding that and how it was formed. Put that aside, it's just not grabbed me enough. Now, I think this year, for example, the first few events, I've heard more people talk about it this year than I have probably the previous 3 combined. Like the events that are going on, some of the matchups that have been going on, and maybe it's starting to become a little bit more kind of recognised. Maybe people start to respect it more. It's got world ranking points and stuff like that, for example. But I don't know. It probably maybe the biggest indictment from my side. It doesn't really make me feel a lot. It doesn't really make me feel invested. I don't care about the team aspect. We have one event where teams actually matter in golf. That's the ones that, from both the male and the female game, those are the ones where you get invested. Those are the ones where you really care about. It's like TGL. Who gives a crap about TGL? Who really cares that Jupiter Golf Club, or whatever the hell they're called, just won? It wasn't even them, was it? It was LA.
I can't remember.
It was LA Country Club.
LA Country Club, yeah, that's it.
You know, those famous LA residents of Tommy Fleetwood and Justin Rose. You know, they're going to go down a parade, Santa Monica Boulevard. Everyone's going to be coming out and celebrating the fact they've just won a simulator golf league.
Yeah.
It's just crap. But I don't quite feel as intense about LIV for some reason. TGL annoys me more than LIV. I don't know why. But it's things like that where trying something new, and I think there is actually space, and there is something where a third tour can exist. I think there's room for that. I think the biggest loser in all this has probably been the European tour.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's a way that these three things can coexist, but outside of the majors, there's no way that the players from each of these tours are really going to kind of come together on a yearly basis. You could make the argument that maybe that's all that people really are bothered about. You know, we know that people watch majors where there's regular week-to-week tour events, the interest isn't actually massively high. So
I think as a golf fan, I think golf courses matter as well. I think if a tournament is on a particular golf course, and especially talking about DP World Tour, that the appeal of watching like Royal Melbourne, for example, or if they played a competition on Tahiti in New Zealand, or they went to Fancourt, it's watching the best tour players on the best golf courses is really appealing.
I mean, and LIV could do that. I mean, like they do have, you know, it's obviously been spoke about ad nauseum, but you know they've effectively got unlimited money if they can keep their interest. You know, so the courses that they could go to could be incredible. And like I said, you've got draws in tournaments, whether it's course, it's got players, or it's got prestige. Like those are the three things where you're really going to watch for. And LIV went down the avenue of players. Like they tried to recruit the most influential, the most watchable, the most controversial in some respects players, get them on the tour, chuck them all together, put them in a blender, add some teams, watch. And it might have had a bit more of an impact if they did play at these incredible venues. I mean, they go to Valderrama, for example. I think that actually might be some of the only clips I've watched, like from Valderrama, because I want to see that course.
Again, it's because of the golf course.
Well, I want to see people play that course.
Even when like the Irish Open was at RCD last year, the year before, I think. Again, their TV ratings, I bet, were way higher than the year before because it's based on golf course. Watching Rory McIlroy play down that 9th hole, for example, or 18, I want to watch that. It's entertaining. Exactly.
And it's one of those things where, you know, we have in the game of golf, we are lucky that we play on. It's super pretentious to say, and people take this in the right way. A lot of tour pros and a lot of these big events, they play on like real works of art in some respect. These beautiful golf courses that look and play amazing, that people look at and they're desperate to go play because of the way it's shaped and the bunkering and the hazards and the test that it provides. You know, essentially, a football pitch is a football pitch. You have the stand around it. You have stadiums, which are cool. But golf is so unique. So if you can get an event to a venue which has that appeal, people are going to watch.
Yeah.
They want to aspire to play there.
Yeah. I think we could do an entire podcast on LIV PGA. There's so much to talk about. I think one of the things for me as well growing up is that when we were watching Tiger win those tournaments and other of our idols, money was never mentioned. I think as a kid growing up as well, I guess we didn't have social media, but I think now for kids, I think there's so much chat around so-and-so's just won $4 million, and they sort of forget that as an audience, I don't really care. I care about someone lifting the claret jug on 18 on St Andrews, and it would just be a byproduct of what I'm thinking about what the prize money is. I think that it's quite dangerous, especially for kids growing up, that they have that information of they have won 4 million, then it's the trophy, and actually it's the trophy that we care about as fans.
I think if you're a kid, and you know you want to be a pro golfer, you want to be a footballer, you want to play rugby or whatever it is, I think as a kid you are still focused on the glory of what that trophy would be, and then everything else that follows is fine. But you don't think about that. Mm-hmm. You don't think about that when you're trying to hold that putt on the practice green to win the Open. When it goes in, you celebrate, you imagine yourself like lifting that claret jug. You don't then go to the side of the green, sign the multi-year endorsement deal with Citibank. You know, you just enjoy the imaginary moment, don't you? But money in golf, professional golf especially, has gone so high. And it's fantastic. It's amazing for the players. It's great for the players. Like, talk about TGL again the other day. I think the winning team got like 9 million.
I didn't actually know that. I've never looked into the money at TGL.
And I have no idea. I have no idea like how that's split. But you can rest assured that pretty much every single one of those players has had a few $1 million.
Huge sums of money, yeah.
Yeah. And why? Like, why? I still don't fully understand it. Like, why? But it's great for the players. Great for the players. As far as the fans go, like I said, what does it matter? The only time that money really matters to fans is if it's a real underdog story, and it's something which will
change
somebody's life. I think there's an assumption that certainly within pro golf, that if you win a tournament and it's a big tournament, you win like $3 million, whatever it's going to be. It's almost like assumed that a good pro golfer, has that money. They have that money. They're winning more money, and it's great, but they don't need it. Now, that's where money matters, is if there's a journeyman pro, or there's somebody who's like just coming up through the ranks, who haven't had a great year, who, you know, aren't on the TV that often, when they're going against like one of the big boys for cash that's going to change everything for them. That's great. That really matters. And I mean this I'm not comparing the two at all, but like when you have like certain money matches on YouTube, like the Internet Invitational last year, playing for $1 million, obviously split between 3 people for the team. You know, for people like Beef, for example, like he obviously passed away shortly after that event, but that money for him, that money for his family, that meant so much. And that's where it has a real impact. So if you've got a guy who's been playing out there on tour, struggling to keep his card, and just catches fire one week at the Open or the Masters or whatever, and manages to bank a few million, challenges for the title, that's massive, that's huge. But certainly with LIV, being paid to play and then able to bank more money from that event, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to a golf fan. Like, who cares? John Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau won in South Africa the other day, another $4 million. He's negotiating a contract which is going to be worth, what, like $500 million, I think?
$500 million, yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It's funny. Sometimes.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Great for him. Mm-hmm. Amazing for him. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. I think when you scroll, you see like sometimes Golf Digest has that LIV. When I see who won, and that's kind of the only time I see it. And then it has the money next to it, and you're like, my God, I sort of forget that you go down the list, you know, and even like last place, you're like, oh my God, they just got like 60 grand for last place. I mean, it's mad when you kind of think about it.
Be great, wouldn't it?
Would be great, yeah.
I'm still keen for him to try and invest in a YouTube team.
Might happen.
The Tubers.
What?
The Tubers, that's our name.
The Tubers.
Tubers. Like the logo is going to be a potato.
Okay. Who's on your Tubers team?
If I get to pick it, I mean, I'll definitely be the worst player. Who's going to win me the most money? Because I care about money. If I'm on LIV. We'll have Brad. We'll have Wes. And Tommy makes YouTube videos now.
You can pick tour pros. So it's going to be you, Bryce, and Tommy.
Maybe I'll sacrifice myself. I'll just be an investor in the team, and we'll get like this other place.
Team captain.
Yeah, we'll get Bryson over, and then maybe Podrag.
Moving on to a few questions. I'll come on to kind of quick fire section, but questions. What are the top 3 courses you've ever played that stick out? I think I know your number 1, but curious.
Yeah, I mean, my number 1 is still Royal Aberdeen. So courses are subjective. That's the thing. So Royal Aberdeen for me, they've played it a few times. both times I've played it, it's been amazing evenings and an amazing morning, incredible weather. Course has been in fantastic condition, and I've felt much more of an emotional attachment to that golf course. It's been here, like I've felt something. And the front nine at Royal Aberdeen is just an absolute masterpiece. If you do get the chance to play, make sure you go play Royal Aberdeen, because they're fighting coastal erosion. Like, they've built another hole which could replace the first if the first green falls into the sea. Like, it's getting that kind of level. So if you get the chance to go soon, go. Because if you don't, like, literally one of the greatest front nines in world golf is going to disappear. Royal Cinque Ports, number 2. Just, there's like certain features at golf clubs that stand out. Like the bunkering at Royal Cinque Ports is some of the wildest things that you're ever going to see. Like, if you go play there, just avoid going in the bunkers, and you're going to have one of the best experiences of your life. If you go in the bunkers, you are going to need to spend an extra night there, because you're going to have to drink yourself into a sorrowful stupor
Just
in the
horrible.
bar.
You're talking pot bunkers and
Like pot bunkers, but like, what's bigger than a pot in the kitchen? Like a soup pot.
soup bunkers.
Yeah, so you get like a pot and you get pans. The bunkers at Royal Cinque Ports are like a soup, like an army soup pot, like a mess pot, like one of those things where they're ladling it out.
Yeah.
That kind of pot bunker.
Got you.
But the course and the setting, and again, the design is amazing. And then I think third I've got probably the old course, St Andrews. They're all links courses. I mean, for me, my top courses are all links. I did do a list recently, top 10, and there are a few in the States. You got Pinehurst, you got Kiowa, like places like that. But yeah, St Andrews is nothing will beat in golf the walk up the 18th at St Andrews. You just can't replicate that. You know, it's an impossible thing. It's a course that's been there for literally hundreds of years. The amount of golfers that have walked up that 18th, the history that literally seeps through the earth as you walk up that, and the fact that you feel like you're a part of something there. You're walking into a town. There's people around. They're watching. The sense that life is going on and continuing all around you, as it has done for hundreds of years in St Andrews, and you're just a part of that, walking up that hole, joining 1,000 other golfers that have done that the same day, and millions of golfers that have done that across the years. It's a sense of something which you can't replicate at all, no matter how good the golf course.
Yeah, even if you're not playing golf there, it's just stand behind that green and watch. It's just
or even walk the course on a Sunday.
Yeah,
you just walk the course on a Sunday. It's an amazing spot.
What annoys you in the game today, or the golf content space? But what's kind of like one of the things that really annoys you want to change?
Price inflation is, I think, something which is pretty annoying. The top courses have always been very expensive, and I think if you kind of track it along line with inflation, obviously prices go up generally. But there's some pretty mediocre courses that are charging hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to play, and all of a sudden it becomes this weird situation where other courses that are better, obviously, like I said, it is subjective, that are better than courses that are charging, say, $200 to play, they'll charge $250. And then there's courses that are above them say, well, if they're charging $250, we'll charge $350. And all of a sudden it culminates in courses charging upwards of $1,000 to play. No golf course is worth $1,000 to play. It's just not...
Agree.
It's just not a thing. It's just not a thing that you should pay that much to play, even if it is a really iconic place.
Before you've bought food, before you've paid the caddy, before you got there, I mean, it's huge. It's become unachievable for most of people.
But the value becomes meaningless. Like $1,000. I don't even know what that means. Anytime that a green fee approaches the cost of what a membership would be at a golf club, that's the point where you say, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it, thanks. There's other experiences that I can have. So that's certainly something which is annoying. I think, how do I say this without sounding too snooty? What I don't like, and well, I don't think anyone really likes this, but it seems to be on an increasing basis, a weekly basis, where obviously I'm across social media a lot. I'll turn on social media, and there'll be a fight on the golf course, and there'll be a few, and there'll be social clips of it, and it all revolves around the same thing. It's a group of guys. You can see the beers around. Somebody's playing slow. They get in an argument and they start fighting. Now, it's obviously all isolated incidents. These aren't happening all over the place. But it's just this sense that, for me, golf is from a professional standpoint, I know I've got a slightly different take on it, but it's a place where you can go play, you can try and be better, you can try and excel at this sport, you can try and be really good at something. And you can do it in an environment which is in the middle of a field. It's a beautiful place. You can be out in the fresh air. You can escape a lot of the day-to-day things that will drag you down. And it's that sense that people, when they go to a golf club and escape, they take beers on the course. I've had beers on the course. It's great. But taking beers on the course, getting the tunes blasting, going out, having a round, and slow play taking 6 hours. I don't think that's an environment that is inviting for a lot of people to go play. I don't know whether that makes me a little bit prudish, potentially, but I just kind of think that golf clubs and going to a golf club, you should hold yourself to a certain standard of sportsmanship, and this idea that golf is a gentleman's, a gentle lady's game, I think should be something that we hold on to, without pushing through some of the more negative aspects of, can't be in your phone in the clubhouse, you can't wear short socks, this kind of stuff. That kind of stuff I've got absolutely no time for. But yeah, just having a certain kind of standard that you want to set for yourself on a golf course. Yeah. But I'm well aware it's probably because I'm getting a bit older.
Same. Yeah. I guess finishing with some quick fire questions for you. So, what would be your walk-on song, first tee of the golf course? If there was always one song that played, what would it be?
Other than Rackman and Osmith,
what was he said to us, Andy? It was a Flemish band that just scream in caves.
A walk-on song. Is walk-on song just I don't know, a favourite song? What is my favourite song? I have absolutely no idea. I've absolutely no idea.
Well, we were listening to some garage music before this started.
Yeah, I Don't Smoke the Reefer.
There you go. I Don't Smoke the Reefer. Peter Finch on the first tee.
That'd be quite the entrance, wouldn't it? Honestly, I've no idea. I don't even what would be my favourite song. Might have to come back to me. Let me just tick this over in the back of my head.
Okay, we'll go with I Don't Smoke the Reefer for the time being.
How do I not know what my favourite song is?
Favourite golfer ever?
Tiger, obviously.
Favourite sports team?
Preston North End. I'd say it's my favourite team. I hate them.
But you love them.
But I love them.
Biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve? Things that is that just things that give me the ick?
Or just annoy you?
Oh, everything annoys me.
But what's one thing that really annoys you?
Everything.
What's one thing that really annoys you?
Everything annoys me. There's not a single thing that annoys me. I don't even know where to begin. You get a sticky toffee pudding on a menu and it doesn't have the option of custard. That's really annoying. Crap sausages in a banger and mash. That is really annoying. The fact that you can't remove a lid from a bottle really annoys me. The fact that people are serving water in cans now is exceptionally frustrating. What's the point of that? The fact that there's just so much that is incredibly annoying right now. Like, there's not a single thing, and that was just sticking to like food. Like as we like go into day-to-day life, you know, like where do you begin?
Where did you begin?
Where did you begin? Where did you begin?
Favorite YouTube channel that isn't Peter Finch, Rough Cut, or Swing Quest?
I'd probably still go Casey Neistat. I love the Outdoor Boys as well until they stopped.
Yeah.
That was class. Very vibey.
Yeah. Favorite pro athlete of all time? That's not Tiger.
That's not Tiger. Oh man. I mean, the incredible footballers. Used to love Shearer. Probably my favourite is Max Woosnam. Have you heard of Max Woosnam?
Yeah.
Have I told you about him before?
You haven't told me the story about him, but I've heard of him.
Yeah, Max Woosnam. Go check Max Woosnam out if you get a chance or access to the internet.
Who would play you in a movie?
I mean, I'd love to say someone like Leonardo DiCaprio, but it's probably like Andy Serkis, probably.
Favorite major?
The Open, yeah.
Favorite Netflix for program to binge when you're on the road?
No, Netflix, man. No, it's just no. There you go. Some of that annoys me. There's a pet peeve. It used to be. Do you know when you used to binge a show?
Yes.
When you used to binge a show, did you binge it because it was bingeable? Did you binge it because it was really enjoyable?
Really enjoyable.
Exactly. So what every single it grinds my gears. I don't watch any shows anymore.
No series.
I don't watch any series. The last series I watched all the way through was Clarkson's Farm.
What series?
Because it's just great.
Makes you feel good.
It was they did such a good job with that. But I hate Netflix series. I hate Prime series. Because what they do, they start to invent shows, and they start to structure the shows so they're more bingeable. So you have a really impactful start, dross in the middle, and then a cliffhanger at the end, which is paid off in the next episode. So you watch it. And I'm not going to fall into their trap, 40. I'm not going to do it.
Do you watch Full Swing?
Yeah, but I think I watched that more because it was like an industry.
Need to be in the know.
I kind of had to watch it, yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly don't watch any series anymore. Literally just don't watch it because I just don't like the idea that I'm being played.
Yeah. I suppose if you're on a trip with me, you haven't got time either.
Yeah, and it's just so much crap out there.
But not Clarkson's Farm.
Not Clarkson's Farm. It's just, there's so much slop. Not AI slop, Netflix slop. It's just slop.
Slop.
Just slop. Throw it together, bash it out there. Listen, like you go on Netflix right now. Go on Netflix right now and just have a look how many series are 2 to 3 seasons, because they don't carry on because people just don't watch them because the actual writing and the actual stuff in there is crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Read books.
What's your favourite book? Although I flew with you to, can't remember what it was now. You're into your fantasy.
My audiobooks at the moment are. Audiobooks have kind of like taken over my life a little bit. That's maybe a reason why I don't actually watch too many series, because I just listen to audiobooks. Yeah, just kind of finished up with Dungeon Crawler Carl. I've actually listened through them again now, and I'm kind of on a bit of a backlog. As far as books go, I don't know. Like the weird thing is, like my mind when I say favorite books, like the Harry Potter books are they my favorite books, or are they just like they're in my mind as my favorites because they're the ones that kind of almost like got me into reading a little bit.
Same.
Like, I don't think I ever read a book before that point, so like those are the ones that really kind of instigated a bit more of a love of stories and books. So
God, due to your hatred of series, you're not going to watch the new HBO Harry Potter series?
Probably not. No.
Yeah.
I hope they do it justice, and they have enough seasons to probably do it with. But I don't know. I might watch a couple. It's not like I don't know what happens. Spoilers.
And then final question for me today is, how would you summarize if I said to you, what does golf mean to Pete Finch? How would you summarize that for where you've come from and where you are today? What does golf mean to you?
I think golf for me has been a way to. It's been a way to live my life, which I actually didn't think was going to be possible for a start. You know, there are times when it's stressful. There are times when there are things I do where I don't go through periods of like enjoying it, but ultimately, you know, I love it, and I know how lucky that I am to be doing what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm just very, very grateful for it. Really, I don't think there's anything else that I would have been able to do what I've done without being within the world of golf. I don't think. Maybe. I don't know.
I think that's a nice way to end it. Pete, it's always really good fun spending time with you. Really appreciate your time today. And yeah, thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.